Chapter 19. Reckoning. The courtroom was packed, the air heavy with anticipation and the hum of whispered conversations. Cameras clicked incessantly as journalists jostled for the best angle. The trial of Ethan Brooks and Sean O'Connell had captured the nation's attention, the media branding it the ultimate tale of justice catching up to those who once wore the badge. The judge's gavel banged, silencing the room as the proceedings began. Ethan and Sean sat at the defense table, their expressions grim. Ethan's sharp blue eyes were bloodshot, his shoulders hunched under the weight of his choices. Sean sat beside him, his face a mask of defiance, though his clenched fists betrayed the anxiety simmering beneath the surface. Both men were dressed in somber suits, but nothing could mask the fall from grace that had brought them here. As the prosecution laid out the case, the gallery listened intently. Evidence of their crimes was paraded before the court, the stolen electronics, the surveillance footage, and witness testimony. The damning evidence painted a picture of two former officers who had not only betrayed their badges, but had sunk deeply into the criminal world they were sworn to combat. When the verdict was read, the room was silent. "Guilty," the judge declared, his voice ringing out clearly. Ethan's chest tightened while Sean's jaw tensed visibly. Their sentences were harsh but expected. 3 years for Ethan, 4 for Sean, with no possibility of parole for either during the first half of their terms. The gavel struck again, sealing their fate. Across town, Alan Watts sat in his office, the glow of the afternoon sun filtering through the tall windows. The headline on his desk screamed, "Fallen officers sentenced for crimes, justice served." Alan's lips pressed into a thin line as he read through the article. The conviction had been swift, and the media frenzy surrounding the case had ensured that the public was watching. Picking up the phone, Alan dialed Jason. His brother's voice answered after a few rings, warm but cautious. "Alan, it's done. They're sentenced." There was a pause on the other end of the line before Jason replied, "How do you feel about it?" Alan exhaled, leaning back in his chair. "Not happy, but I think the public needed this. They needed to see that the system can work, that those two weren't just bad cops, they were rotten to the core. It gives some closure. Closure for the public, maybe. For us?" Alan frowned, staring out the window at the bustling city below. "Maybe not full closure, but it's a step. They'll pay for what they did. I guess that's something." They spoke for a few more minutes before ending the call. Alan sat in silence for a while, his thoughts drifting to Gloria, who had been stoic throughout the ordeal. He knew the pain of it all would never truly fade, but perhaps now, with this verdict, the healing could begin. As the news spread, the public reaction was mixed. Some saw the convictions as a victory for accountability, while others saw them as a grim reminder of the corruption that could fester in institutions meant to uphold justice. The Watts family became a symbol of resilience, their voices a rallying cry for those demanding reform. In their cell blocks, Ethan and Sean adjusted to the stark reality of their new lives. Ethan spent his days replaying his choices, the regret a constant companion. Sean, though outwardly stoic, couldn't shake the bitterness of his downfall. Both men, once on opposite sides of the law, now shared the same fate, a slow, grinding march through a system they had once thought they controlled. The world moved on, but the story of their rise and fall lingered in the public consciousness. It became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the thin line between hero and villain, and the price of crossing it.
This concludes the audiobook The Other Side of the Law by Michael Liverpool. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned for more audiobooks, films, and web series. Be sure to click like and subscribe, and feel free to share and get in the comments. Have a wonderful rest of your day.